He's got big balls and she's got big balls, but I've got the biggest balls of them all. Hello there, and welcome to the channel. I know that there are some of you out there who clicked on this video for no other reason than the fact that you saw the title of the video and you can't wait to rip me apart. Well, all I can say to you is just hold on for a minute. Now, I do want you to rip me apart. I want you to have that opportunity because it plays right into my hands with what I'm going to talk about here. It really does. So you just might want to hold off just for a minute, but you will go in. I am going to give you that opportunity. Now listen guys, let's start with Henry Cavill, because as many of you might have heard, Henry Cavill made the announcement a couple of days ago that he will not be returning as Superman in the DC universe. You guys might have seen us break that news on the Dark Council live stream on Wednesday. I'll probably leave that in the description box below so you guys can check that live stream out. It was very, very melodramatic, to say the least. Okay, we broke that in real time, so there was not a dry eye in the house. But listen guys, so Henry Cavill made this announcement, and I am going to read the announcement to you, and I'm going to break down the reasons why I feel the way that I feel. I am left with no other alternative than to conclude that Henry Cavill is a better man than the late great Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Now keep in mind, this is based upon what all of you have been telling me. Okay, this isn't how I feel. Remember, I'm the one who said I believe that Chadwick Boseman does understand the significance, or he did understand the significance and the impact of his character, and he would have wanted it to go on. I am the one who said that I believe that this man was such a great man, he was such a caring and responsible man, that he would never want the whole thing to just be all about him. He would more so want to expand upon the legacy of the character and the impact that it made. Remember, this was the man who went around to cancer units all over the country visiting sick children, even though he himself was suffering. He himself was sick, but he went around and visited these children because he knew how much that character meant to these children. He knew how much hope these children got from it. So I always believed that he would believe in keeping the character going. But no, you guys told me that the way to honor that man would be to let that character die. Okay, all right, okay, so we're gonna go with that, okay? So he believes in letting the character die. That character that he personally saw all of these people, all of these children get so much inspiration from. Okay, you want me to accept that? Let's accept that. Now let's get to Henry Cavill. Okay, because he made this statement on Instagram, and I want to read the statement to you, and I want you to tell me where you disagree with what Henry Cavill had to say. Is Henry Cavill less of a man for the statement that he's making on Instagram? And that statement goes as follows. I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. As a man, James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. Now, here's the part that I want you to pay attention to, Pilgrim. Check this out. For those who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman, the character, is still around. Everything that he stands for it still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all, onwards and upwards. Okay guys, as I said, feel free to tell me what exactly Henry Cavill said that you disagree with. What he said that was wrong. For those who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit. But then we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. Tell me what he said there that was wrong. Surely you disagree with what he said, because these are the same exact points that I have been making about why the character of T'Challa should go on. We can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember, T'Challa, the Black Panther, is still around. Everything T'Challa stands for still exists, and the example he sets for us are still there. Even though Chadwick Boseman has passed, what T'Challa stands for never will. Now remember, I'm the one who said that I thought Chadwick Boseman would feel that way. As a matter of fact, his brother said that Chadwick Boseman would feel that way. But when I said that, when I made that point, many of you came into my comment section to rip me apart, to tell me off, to call me anti-black and every other name that you could think of. It's interesting to me because what Henry Cavill said was incredibly gracious, considering he is hurt, he's disappointed, but he wanted to reach back to his fans, to all of the kids that he knows that are out there in the world who love Superman. They love the character, and they're bound to be disappointed by the fact that this generation's Superman is no longer going to be Superman. So he took the time, understanding what his character meant to everyone. He went out of his way to take the time to try to comfort us, to try to lend strength to us, to try to inspire us. These are the attributes of manhood: to protect us, to defend us in our hurt feelings, in our moment of disappointment. Is this not a manly way to approach things? Was he not gracious in his response? Was he not strong in his response? Are these not the things that you would expect from an honorable man? I think so. But for some reason, we did not give those attributes to Chadwick Boseman. We said that Chadwick Boseman was gone, and we were disappointed, and we were hurt, and we allowed other people to come in and decide for us that this is where the character should end. Is this character any less important than Superman? I mean, I'm talking about potential. I know that he's not as popular as Superman, but does he not deserve the opportunity to become that popular after Chadwick Boseman gave it such an amazing start? He became so popular, Black Panther did, as T'Challa. But the powers that be decided that that was enough. That was it. And they said that was honoring Chadwick Boseman, who I thought was a great man. But apparently, everybody else, they disagreed. These attributes that Henry Cavill is showing us, Chadwick Boseman did not have. And so, we were told that Chadwick would be honored by the death of the character that he worked so hard to bring to the screen. Traveled all over the world, seeing all of these young children and grown people who were inspired by his story arc. This is what we were led to believe. So if that's the case, right, and you can't tell me anything that Henry Cavill said that was wrong, I have no choice but to conclude that Henry Cavill is a better man than Chadwick Boseman. Now, I know a lot of you are here to tell me off, and I'm going to see it in the comment section. You know, I expect it. Because remember, I'm the guy who did the video talking about how black men are worth more dead than alive. They're appreciated. We are appreciated more dead than we are alive by too much of our black community. And the reasons why that is because we don't get the respect of being honorable, of being protectors. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? You can give that to Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill can look great, and he does. I respect what he said. I greatly respect what he said, you know? But I can't say it, even though I was one of the first people to say that. I was one of the first people to say this is not the way to honor a great man like Chadwick Boseman. But I get shouted down. I get called all types of names and everything like that. And it's the reason why I've always said that Jesus had to be symbolized as a white man. He had to be symbolized as a white man, even though we know that as he walked the earth, he was probably more than likely a brown man. But he had to be symbolized as a white man, because if he were a black man, then the crucifixion just would have been another lynching. Black people would have rioted, they would have looted, they would have gone home, and they would have forgot everything that the man stood for, everything that he symbolized. He had to be white, because that's the only thing that black people, some of us, too many of us, really do value and listen to. You don't want to hear it from me. And of course, this is evidenced by what you're going to find in the comment section. People violently disagreeing with me. You can disagree with me, but the aggression with which they disagree with me, the resentment, how dare I even think? How dare I? But Henry Cavill, he can say this, and he can look good saying it. And he can be respected for saying it. Now, I can hear it already. It's different because Chadwick Boseman actually died. Henry Cavill just got fired. Well, even more so, it makes it even more important that you represent a man's memory the right way, because he's not here to do it for himself. So you would at least think that you would give his life the respect of the assumption that he would see all of his fans from around the world who would want to see this character to continue. You think that this is the way you would honor and respect him. But no, you would rather assume, even though he was humble, even though I read you the story about how he never wanted everything to be all about him. This is the reason why he kept his sickness a secret in the first place. And don't you know they made him keeping his sickness a secret part of his actual story in Wakanda Forever. Exploitation at its finest, but that's the way I see it, but a lot of you don't see it that way. And so Chadwick Boseman gets to go down in your memory as the first and only T'Challa. I'm not talking about his namesake. I'm not talking about his son, because some people are like, oh, you're going to get that anyway. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. You're not getting it now. The children who are out there now, they got death. They got the death of T'Challa. I'm not talking about what's going to happen 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. I'm talking about what's going on now. The world has never seen a time without Superman. But we're supposed to believe there's honor in not seeing T'Challa, the real T'Challa. All right, that's the way you want it. So like I said, have at it. You can go on, tell me off, cuss me out and everything. But I'm a thinker, and I just wanted to make that point. And I want you to tell me what the difference is. I want you to explain to me how Henry Cavill can say what he said and be respected for it. But when I say these are the things that we should have considered about Chadwick Boseman and his wishes, all those people around him who claim to have known him so well, all of his fellow cast members and everything like that, this is the way they want us to believe is the right way to honor him. I'm not convinced. I'm not. And when I saw the words of Henry Cavill, I was just like, wow. Someone's going to have to tell me what this man said that was wrong, because I said the same thing and you said I was wrong. So please break it down to me. But in the meantime, respect to Henry Cavill for showing all of us what a real man is and how a real man thinks. And hopefully, we can learn from his example. All right, guys, those are my thoughts. In case you didn't know, this is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next one. Rock on.